Hi, I'm Candace, and this is Fitness and Harmonies. Poses to shift your mood, or as my husband said, stop being a grump. Now we're in cat-cow. So cat-cow is a pose or a vinyasa when you're overworked, when you have pent-up stress. Trust me, you're going to relate to every one of these things today, so don't be in a hurry to say, yeah, that's the one. But it's okay. You can always pick 3 or 4 of these poses. Step 1 foot forward, 1 foot back, and up into high lunge. So 1 foot forward, 1 foot back. Now the one in back, I want to just point this out as you're getting yourself situated, is pointing forward. My microphone is right in your way there. Is pointing forward. Usually in like warrior, it turns open. So it's pointing forward. That's a high lunge. Everybody knows high lunge. In high lunge or upward salute, the arms go straight up and there's a little bit of extension, a little bit of a tip backward. But the goal is to open up the chest and feel this expansiveness. So high lunge is for when you feel spacey and unsteady. Well, I feel pretty unsteady in high lunge, right? I'm on a tightrope. Maybe I'll wiggle this foot out. So when you feel unsteady, this gives you strength. So the goal in high lunge is to get into high lunge. So it may look like you're standing up, but we're not. We're going down and spreading out. So the goal of high lunge is when you're spacey and unsteady. So you need to find this groundedness. I need to be responsible for holding on to becoming emotionally and physically balanced. 2 more breaths. Remember to release your shoulders open and wide. Then we'll switch legs. So do this patiently, carefully, 1 leg forward. It's a large step back, but take a second to look back at the back foot. Make sure it's pointing forward if it can. Sink down into your high lunge. It's called high lunge, but it really feels low. Spread the fingers out so that you're really radiating energy, and then pull the shoulders down and back. Remember, the purpose of high lunge is for when you feel unsteady. So it's really incredible that I feel unsteady, yet I'm doing a pose that's teaching steadiness. That's teaching me that sometimes the ground shifts from beneath me. That happens. 3 slow breaths. So keep the elements of Shavasana. Remember, we settled into the ground. We're in this moment of reality. And then come back to Tadasana, mountain pose. So Tadasana is what we're always in. We're always standing in Tadasana. So maybe your pose for steadiness is Tadasana, which means mountain. Maybe the mountain is where you go for strength. Try holding yourself with one arm so the other arm can reach back. It may be that you can reach this foot. So give yourself a break. You might be able to really bend this back knee and find your foot. You might take a moment to find your strap and lasso the foot, or you can't reach it at all. So this is called half bound frog. And the purpose of all the frogs, there's several frog poses, is for when you're intense and angry. Intense and angry. You'll notice that all the poses that have to do with the deep emotions, not the things that are just sort of happening right now, are hip stretches. They're hip movements. Our pelvis holds those deep, seated, strong, those sustained moods. I'm giving you plenty of time to work on this. Recognize that the Yoga Sutra, for example, gives us a path, and the change is happening. Even if you don't know the path, you're still on it. And then release. See if you can try the other side. So go slow. Don't assume that this side is going to be the same. You got it? I see you got it. All right. If you can and want to, by all means, relieve the upper body. Let the upper body come back down. You don't always have to be an extension. The poses are part of a journey or a path. They're not the end. If you could do every pose perfectly, you wouldn't have enlightenment. It doesn't work that way. Enlightenment is the work that you're doing on the inside, on the journey. So you're actually getting more benefit if you can't get in the pose, because you're having to discover. The Yoga Sutra says, to refine the mind, we have to have friendliness towards those who are happy. Well, that's easy. We're all happy here and friendly. Compassion to those who are suffering. Delight in those who do good. One more breath. Bring your feet back to center. Okay, I got one more pose for you here. Bring your feet into the floor. So we did like a frog bow pose. We're going to do that bow pose again. Lift your hips up. This is called upward bow. So the bow was like a U shape before. This time it's going to be more of an arch. For some of us, this is it. This is bow pose. That's enough. I want you to be super careful here because you need very, very strong arms. We've not really practiced this. Take your arms and face them up at the ceiling. Then bend at your elbows so that your fingertips come underneath your shoulders. So really turn underneath. Okay, so I got to move my hair out of the way. Get the palms on the floor, if they do. I know some of the shoulders out there, some of the shoulders don't do this. Push with your feet, push with your hands. If you can lift off, lift off. If you can't, don't. I'm going to give this 3 breaths for you to push. Maybe you don't lift off, and that's fine. This is upward bow. Come all the way down, or wheel. In yoga, a lot of times we call that wheel pose. The purpose of that is when you're stuck in a habitual pattern, because there's no way that didn't get your attention. Let's come all the way to Shavasana now. Keep the body still for another couple of breaths, but I want you to wake up. Like you're studying, with your eyes wide open, feeling, studying the body, feeling at peace. Don't let your mind disturb you. Concentrate. I invite you to press off the floor with your eyes now open. I invite you to come to a seat. So remember, Sukhasana, easy pose. It's the pose for us to reach this enlightenment. Palms together, touch the heart. Inhale and circle up, stretch up. Fill those lungs, fill. Exhale, let everything radiate outward. I honor you and your new mood. Namaste.